Hey guys, it's KimiGreen17 and in this video I will explain the basics you need if you are going to get a hamster. This is a list of all the basic stuff you absolutely need if you're going to get a hamster. I will go through the list to explain some things. The first thing on the list is a cage. Now, it's very important that the cage is the right size. The minimum of a hamster cage is 60 by 40 centimeters or 2400 square centimeters. This only covers the floor space. Height doesn't count. Hamsters aren't very good climbers, except for the Chinese hamster, and they can easily fall down. So it's very important not to get a cage that's too high. Here in the Netherlands we say, if there's a second level or a platform in the cage, make sure it isn't higher than 30 centimeters for dwarfs or 45 centimeters for Syrians. So your hamster won't fall down from a platform that's way too high. Now, in my personal opinion, these sizes are still kinda small for a hamster cage, especially for Syrians. My personal suggestion would be a minimum of 80 by 40 centimeters for dwarfs and a minimum of 90 by 50 centimeters for Syrians. Now again, this is my personal opinion. Remember this, bigger is always better. Hamsters are little explorers who can easily get bored. In a bigger cage you can provide your hamster so many toys, then they have way more to play with and discover. Misty lives in a 140 by 50 centimeter cage. This is 7,000 square centimeters. It's almost 3 times the minimum. Jiggly lives in an 80 by 40 centimeter cage. This is 3,200 square centimeters. There are different kinds of cages you can get for your hamster. There is the wire cage. These cages are fun for hamsters to climb, but there's a chance of board chewing. Also, they can be expensive and it's hard to find a hamster cage in the minimum size. Also, make sure that for dwarfs, the distance between the bars is not bigger than 1 centimeter, or a hamster can squeeze through the bars and will escape. Another type of cage is a Duna cage. These cages are easier to find in the right size, but also can be very expensive. You can also use aquariums or terrariums as hamster cages. The benefit is that they look really nice and you can see your hamster very easy. Also, you can make the cages look more colorful or give them a theme by putting wrapping paper at the back. But these cages are in most cases very expensive and they are also very heavy. Besides that, you need to think of a way to attach a water bottle to the glass. But on the internet are some tips. You can also make your own cage. On the internet you can find several tutorials and DIYs to make a hamster cage out of wood or tables turned upside down. Me, my dad and my boyfriend built Misty's cage ourselves. We used several planks and attached them together. Then we used plexiglass at the front. The benefit is that you can make the cage the size you want. Also, they aren't that expensive and there are cheap ways to make one. But it will take some time and sometimes it can be a lot of work. The last option I will talk about is the bin cage. These cages are made out of a plastic bin. They are very cheap and available in many sizes. The only thing you need to do when you buy a bin is cut large holes in it and attach some mesh over it. They are very light and you can also put wrapping paper at the back if you like. It really doesn't matter which cage you choose. Pick the one you prefer. Also, it's not connected to the species of your hamster. But if you are getting a Chinese, make sure you get a cage that's a little bit higher. Then put a lid on it and make sure your hamster can climb. Wire cages are a very good option for Chinese hamsters. The next thing you need is substrate. The safe ones are hardwood shavings such as aspen, or paper-based beddings like Katie Clean and Cozy or Carefresh. Aaron's Animals has a very nice video on safe substrate. Do not use softwood shavings like cedar or pine. Then you need nesting material. Hamsters like to build nests and cuddle up. Most hamsters like really soft material. A lot of pet shops sell cotton or fluffy bedding. It is really soft, but it's extremely dangerous. Do not buy it. Hamsters could get stuck in the material and lose legs. They could also choke in it when ingested. Or, if they eat it, it can block the digestion system in the intestines. Simply don't buy it, even if the package says safe or eatable. Any paper-based nesting material is safe. You can also use tissue paper or toilet paper. Next, you need a drinking bottle or drinking bowl. It's basically up to you. I use drinking bottles because it leaves space free for other stuff. Also, you have to watch out that your hamster doesn't fall in a water ball. It's dangerous for a hamster to get wet. If you're not going to scatter feed your hamster, you need a food dish. Scatter feeding is hiding or sprinkling the food through the entire cage to encourage a hamster to work for its food. If you prefer a food dish, then buy one that's big enough for your hamster to sit in. Hamsters like to be on top of their food, so Syrians need bigger bowls. The next thing you need is a house to sleep in, or a hideout. Hamsters are prey animals, and to make them feel comfortable, they need a place to hide. You can buy different houses, plastic ones or hideouts made out of wood. You can also make one of your own. There are many videos on the internet with DIYs to make houses for hamsters. The next thing you need is a hamster wheel. There are many different wheels out there. These are the regular ones. But you can also find saucer wheels. It depends on what hamster species you are going to get, what size your wheel has to be. The minimum for Roborovskis is 11.5 centimeters. For Campbell's and Winter Whites, the minimum is 15 centimeters. For Chinese hamster, the minimum is 16 centimeters. And for Syrian hamsters, the minimum is 20 centimeters. If the wheel's too small, your hamster's back will bend over too much. This can cause serious back problems. An important thing that the wheel needs to have is a closed surface. Wheels with bars can be very dangerous for a hamster because they can break a leg. But it's also not comfortable for them. Hamsters are rodents and they need to chew on things to help keep the teeth clean and trim. You can buy many different chews out there. But if you have a wooden hideout, your hamster can also chew on that. But it's better to give your hamster more options to chew on. It encourages them to chew. And last but not least, you need food. Feed your hamster a good hamster mix just for hamsters. In most cases, it's not good food if the package says rodents. Because hamsters are not vegetarians and they need protein. It's even better if the food is specific for dwarfs or for Syrians. Because Russian dwarf hamsters and Chinese hamsters are prone to diabetes. They can't have too much sugar. In a mix, especially for dwarfs, there's less sugar in it, like fruit, than for Syrians. Roborovskis can have both mixes. If you have both all of the things on the list, then you have the absolute basics for a hamster. But it's better and way more fun for your pet and for you to put in much more for your hamster to play with. Like different wheels, different houses and hideouts. You can also put multiple in at the same time. There are also a lot of hamster toys out there you can buy. such as tunnels, climbing frames or pieces of driftwood. You can also make a sand bath for your hamster by buying some chinchilla sand, not dust, or you can sterilize children's play sand. Then put it in a dish and your hamster can play in it or take sand baths. It's also very good for their fur. One tip: change the toys and the setup in the cage every 2 weeks. Then your hamster can explore the new setup and toys for 2 weeks and it won't get bored quickly. This was all the information I had for this video. I hope you liked it and learned something. I will see you next time. Goodbye!